I don't give a flying fuck what he thinks. I'm an internet guy. My name is Joe Cronin.
All right, guys, what's going on? We're back again with the Bluprint Wrestling Network. I have again with me Joe freaking Cronin of the Joe Cronin Show. Man, say hi to him, Joe.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing?
Joe Cronin, this is crazy. Joe Cronin, man. For my viewers, can you let them in on what you do and how you got started in the whole YouTube / commentary and on the indie wrestling scene?
The wrestling thing is, I mean, I've been watching wrestling forever. I've been watching wrestling since I was like 5. So I've always done wrestling stuff. Mm-hmm. But, did the backyard wrestling when I was a teenager, and then I finally went and got really trained by a few different people. I really didn't last long. I moved around on my own because I wanted to go to different wrestling schools. Mm-hmm. And got trained by a few people. I was already pretty good at selling at that time, but they trained me on like actual, wrestling and psychology stuff. It did come natural to me, but I needed to be reeled in. And basically, I hit a snag at some point when my ex-girlfriend left me. I hit a snag, and I like, even though all I cared about was wrestling, when she left me, it messed me up. Like, I literally just gave up on wrestling. I wasn't really giving up on wrestling, but I got distracted with like alcohol for like 2 years.
Okay.
And so I just I hooked up with girls for 2 years and drank, and I pretty much didn't care if I drove myself off a bridge and died. It was like I was it's like I had a dream, and then one day I woke up. I met my current girlfriend, who's gonna be my wife, mm-hmm. and and during this, we had kids, and I had to have jobs and stuff, so I never went back to wrestling. But literally, the minute that I sobered up, I'm giving you like the shortest version as I can. Yeah. The minute I met her and I sobered up, I was like, by the way, is the video game footage going on behind?
Yeah.
The background?
Yeah, it's 2K.
Okay, I got the right stream. Okay. I just want to make sure I get the right stream. Yeah, so like the minute I gave up on, everything and was like this, I didn't really give up again. I just sort of got distracted. I didn't even realize it. I was just like, I'm not going to go to class. I'm not going to go to wrestling school this week. I'm going to get drunk. And then I basically did that for 2 years. And so then I met my current girlfriend, and then, we had the kid and everything. And then basically it was, too late to go back to – I wasn't going to be like, hey, honey, I'm going to go wrestle now. Well, I just never went back to it. Yeah. So I started, regular jobs for the last 9 years, regular jobs. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, WWE, I'm so sick of it. So I'm just so mad at it. So I decided to go on YouTube, which I'd had YouTube channels, just doing goofy things. Yeah. And I decided I'm going to start my own. I'm just going to only talk about sports. Okay. And then eventually I decided I'm going to only talk about wrestling only. And then I just started doing wrestling shows, and I started getting subs. Yeah. And I remember thinking I was a fan of a couple different YouTube channels, and a lot of them only had 3,000 subs. And I used to think, wow, this guy has 3,000 subs. It's amazing. If I could ever get 500 or 1,000 subs, that'd be so cool. Yeah, and,
I feel your pain.
It started coming, and then it took off. And now it's a couple of years later. I mean, I have taken a long time to get to 42,000 subs on YouTube and 20 million views, but it's been a long grind, So that's what I do. So now I do wrestling podcasts and reviews and kind of skits and stuff. And now I about a year and a half ago, I reached out to some people and said, anybody needs an announcer, I'm here. And Top Rope Promotions out of Fall River said, come on out here. We they heard me, and they're like, come on out here. A few people already knew me, and so I just been calling wrestling for them. I do some wrestling for other people who have me come out too, but okay. I work a 40-hour job. I work 20 hours on YouTube, and then I do the wrestling stuff, and I got 3 kids, so it's crazy. And that's basically everything right there in the short version.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's pretty inspiring to me because, that's a similar path. I'm a big sports fan, but I'm a bigger sports fan than I was a wrestling fan, but I always had a friend, Warren, that was big in on wrestling, and he always kind of kept me tied to it. Unfortunately, right now, the wrestling that I see on the main roster, I mean, the storyline, at least on Raw, isn't great. And we all bitch about that every Monday. On the Joe Cronin Show, we usually tear up the chat and whatnot, but It would be. What did you think about SmackDown? Because I don't want to be, quick to jump to conclusions, but it does feel like they're going a little bit back to this. I hate to say attitude era, but they're taking the reality era and they're kind of flipping it on us, and we love it.
I think they're actually starting. If they could actually be the reality era, that would be nice. They don't have to be the attitude era. They just need to really be the reality era. The reality era that they had when they coined that phrase a year or 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. It wasn't really reality. It's still scripted. That's why Raw doesn't do so well, because it's too scripted. They need to actually seem like reality. If they can actually do that, where it's not like, Sable's whipping our boobs and Stone Cold's flicking people off, and, they can't do all that stuff, but they could do reality. They don't have to turn the volume up to the top, but be reality. Don't be PG. And if they did that, just SmackDown's doing, and honestly, be entertaining. Look at what Matt Hardy's doing. Is that reality? Not really. Yeah. That's not reality.
No, the furthest thing from it.
It's not a reality.
Yeah. It's great, though. It's crazy. And that, Al Snow said it at a seminar. He said, you guys you can't stand out when you're all the same. And the thing that's bringing people to Matt Hardy and that product is that it's different. It's very different.
It's different, and you're like, at first you're like, this is ridiculous, but then you just can't stop watching it. Everybody, like 70% of the people all did the same thing when that started. We were like, oh man. I even made a video that was like the end of Matt Hardy's career.
Yeah.
And then literally 2 weweeks later, I was like, nope, this is brilliant. Never mind.
Yeah?
I was wrong, dude. The video's up there. It's still up.
Yeah. It's so entertaining.
I was one of the first people to jump on board on my YouTube arena. I was like telling everybody, but at the very, very beginning when it first started, the first second I saw it, when he first did it, I was like, this is weird, and I was wrong.
Yeah,
that's why people like Jericho. They're like, it's just stupidly funny. It takes you out like, this is stupid.
Jericho is on fire. He's on fire right now. It's a shame that it sounds like we might not get too much more of it, but he's doing some of his best work. If
you could get Jericho and Matt Hardy on the same show just talking to each other about anything, it was so funny. Like Jericho's, I can see it right now. They're in the ring. Either in my ring, Christopher, Jericho, and Jericho's like, you get out of my ring or I'm going to put you on the list.
Yes.
I'll put you on the list. You'll be deleted. I'll put you on the list.
Yo, delete. I saw Matt Hardy coming out that House of Glory, I believe it was last week, and seeing all those fans deleting, man, it's ridiculous, and it sparked my imagination of, man, imagine that at Raw or SmackDown, man, that's going to be ridiculous.
If Matt Hardy comes out in the WWE, the whole it's going to be like Daniel Bryan and the Yes Chant.
That's why I think the pop's going to be ridiculous.
They need to offer him like $8 million or something. I mean, if they get Matt Hardy, that place, all the people that know about it are going to be freaking out.
Yes.
And the people that don't know about it soon.
Yeah.
And they will be deleting like it's Daniel Bryan is back doing the Yes Chant. It will be as over as the Yes Chant. He will literally be the new Stone Cold Steve Austin. He will be the leader, the face of the company if he comes to the WWE with them.
Overnight. And the thing about it is society is such a follow me society that the people that do not know what it is are still going to be deleting.
It's just like the End Zone cast thing. You knew that those guys are going to get over because the 30% of the people who want to see them are rabid for them.
Yes.
And anybody else who doesn't know who they are, they're going to easily follow this.
Yes.
And same thing with Matt Hardy. When you first see him, you're going to be like, what the hell is this? But once those people get it for a week or 2 or 3, they'll be on board. It will be nuts.
They'll love it. I posted some earlier this week. I know you're into the Impact Wrestling. That's something that I've jumped on here recently. And I ran into a guy that jumped off the screen at me. And immediately I said, I want him. I had to post it. I want him and The Miz to have an argument just once. Can you guess who I'm talking about in the Impact Wrestling?
You want somebody in Impact Wrestling and The Miz to have an argument?
Just once.
Well, there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a couple guys I could think of, but I mean, I'm thinking EC3 mostly.
EC3. That's another one. But this guy I haven't seen before. Eli Drake?
Oh, yeah, Eli Drake would be great. That's exactly who I was thinking of. Eli
What a
Drake,
talker.
EC3, and Mike Bennett. All three of those guys. I like all three of those guys talking.
Man, I thought that was ridiculous.
They have some of the best mic and guys who can handle the mic without any, you don't need to even know what you're going out there to do. You just know it. Like EC3 is unbelievable, and Eli Drake is like Stone Cold Steve Austin, but like really, like these guys on the mic are badass. They can just go out there and own somebody, and it's amazing. And even Mike Bennett. I mean, they have some of the best, promo guys in wrestling right now, or at least, I don't know what they would do if they came to WWE with the script they'd be given, but because Dean Ambrose is supposed to be
that's the variable. That's always the variable. The machine.
Yeah, you went to grab the brass ring, but they took the ladder away or whatever. I mean, that's what they do. Look at Dean. When Dean said on the Stone Cold podcast that, I'm playing in another person's sandbox. I mean, that tells you right there that Dean's getting to the point where he just doesn't care. Just let me show up and get that paycheck, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how that could be. Because if you really love it, you really get tired of some things. If you haven't noticed, Cody Rhodes said something earlier this year on Twitter where he thought WrestleCade, or there was an indie event that was big that he went to, that he had a better time there than in WrestleMania, and the backlash was crazy. And I was like, the thing about that is there's difference between being at WrestleMania and not being in control of your character and being at a huge event and having full control of whatever you're doing. The freedom is worth it sometimes.
Yeah, it is worth it sometimes. It's way better.
Cody Rhodes, go ahead.
No, it's just because it's like, you can do whatever you want. I mean, there's a bad side to that, too, if you run away with it and everything. But, there's a great side to it, too. It's the creativity comes out then. And when you start to see a guy who, what happens is, if a guy gets to go out there and say whatever he wants for like 4 weeks or something, what happens is you get an idea of what he's like. If you say, go out there and come up with some sort of concept, go out there and say whatever you want. And what happens is for 4 or 5 weeks, if you're a writer or if you're a manager or the owner or whoever's making the storylines, you're listening and you're like, wow, I got an idea of what you can do and what you're doing. I'm going to now add to that by writing something for you. And then what happens is you're naturally involving that into their character. So it's way more natural and easy for like Dean Ambrose to say like, okay, I'll follow that idea or that script because, it's within the character that I've created. And now the writers have an idea of what you're doing. But if someone just says, here, Dean Ambrose, we've written this, so I can say this,
it's not organic.
You never get an idea. Right, and if anything, it hinders them. So that's the problem. That's right there is why that's so much better in TNA.
This is MD with the Bluprint Wrestling Network. I'm here with Joe Cronin. We were just talking about how the storyline and the machine of the WWE sometimes can get in the way of some of these brands and these characters and the creativity. 2016, Joe, year's winding up. We're almost done. Me personally, the match of the year, easy for me, is Sami Zayn versus Nakamura, NXT. I'm kind of biased because that was a big weekend for me, but the crowd was ridiculous. Real quick, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just got a tweet. People were saying they couldn't hear me.
Okay, let's try it again. Let's make sure the sound is right.
I'm trying to listen to it and see if I can hear it.
Let's see something real quick. Give us one.
Oh, no, I can hear me. I'm just coming in a little blurry, but no, I can hear me. That's fine.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
No, it's a little. It was only one person, but I was like, all right, let me check it. People, you can hear me. It's a little broken up, but it's fine. No, I thought I wasn't heard at all, so I just wanted to let you know. It's fine. That's good. What were you gonna say?
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I was just touching base on the Nakamura Sami Zayn match being my choice for match of the year. Is there something that sticks out to your mind of what you say, just dead on? That's the match that I think was the best match I've seen. And it could be main roster, indie roster, whatever.
What, this year?
This year. Match of the year for you.
It's probably something that went on at NXT TakeOver. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It would probably be Sami Zayn versus Nakamura.
Yeah, that was
maybe it was Sasha Banks and no, Sasha Banks and Bailey was last year.
Yeah,
oh no, was that was
believe
this?
so. Or no, was that? That might have been last year.
Sasha Banks and Bailey were this year, right? I don't even remember. See, it all blurs together for me.
It's so much
I like
wrestling.
that match. Yeah, there's a lot of it. Also, there was a few of them in the Cruiserweight Classic. A couple of Bushi's matches are really good. So it'd be like one of those, or Sami Zayn versus Nakamura, or maybe the Revival, their tag match that they had with oh god, I can't remember.
Gargano and
that
was good.
I would say that tag match was really good.
That was really good.
And there's probably one or two other ones that I'm forgetting now, but and most of them, obviously, none of them surround, the main roster, really. I mean, I'm sure Raw or somebody had a match, and I just didn't even realize it.
Couple more questions. Oh, man, I had a good one for you. Man. Oh, in your area, Top Rope Promotions, you're up there in Boston. Just for the people that don't know Joe Cronin right now, we're trying to get some more eyes on Mr. Cronin. He operates in Boston, Massachusetts, or what did you say the town was? Fall Springs?
Fall River is where they're located out of, but they wrestle, but they go all over Mass, kind of. So they're Brockton, Mass, and Fall River mostly. But yeah, pretty much always within 45 minutes of Boston, around somewhere.
Is there any indie wrestlers that are in that organization that stand out to you that maybe the people in my area don't know about?
I don't know. Maybe Travis Gordon. You might have heard of him, actually, but Travis Gordon is Flip Gordon. He's really come on strong over the last year. He's really been developed, and he's a high flyer. He does some crazy stuff. Go look up Travis Flip Gordon or Flip Gordon, and you'll be just like, wow, this dude's awesome. Dude's an Army vet, still does stuff for the Army, still goes away to the Army, and then comes back and wrestles. I met him at FanFest a year and a half ago when me and Leo were there, and he was just hanging out at a booth, and he was trained by the Chaotic guys, so, I mean, that's where Sasha Banks went to wrestling school. So everybody, mark my words, right now you're hearing it on this show. Travis Flip Gordon, look him up, you see him. He will be signed by NXT and WWE at some point soon. He's already been on Raw, 2 for an appearance. Okay. The guy's only been doing it for about 2.5 years. And I promise you he will be in WWE or somewhere, if not ROH, but he'll be somewhere within the next year, I bet. I guarantee you almost. He's currently the Chaotic World Heavyweight Champ. And also my buddy Teddy Goods is in. Now, Travis is all over the place. Teddy Goods is out of Top Rope Promotions, and he wrestles all over the place too. And he's the champion of Top Rope Promotions.
I've heard you talk
Teddy
about
is another guy who, look for Teddy Goods to maybe get something going. And at some point, he is the former tag team partner of Biff Busick, who is only lurking in NXT right now. So I mean, those are 2 guys that are on the radar, but there are more. Okay. If you haven't heard of them, they're good dudes. I mean, Teddy Goods doesn't do all the crazy flipping stuff. So you're never going to see. I don't think you're ever going to see Teddy Goods on like the indie highlight reels.
Okay.
But like his entrance music, his presence, his connection, and it's just veteran. He's a veteran, man. He's really good, and his only chance at this point, I mean, is to get hooked up with the WWE. He wrestles the WWE style, so I think it would be big for him to get signed. But Travis's stock is rising, and he's young, so you just look for Travis Gordon, Flip Gordon.
Okay, definitely. Okay, I'll look some of those guys up. All right, we're going to let Joe get out of here. One more thing. 2017 coming up. What do you have on the horizon for Joe Cronin Show as a brand? Do you have anything new coming up for the YouTubers?
I mean, I'm doing this thing with Sean View now, which is kind of bizarre and crazy.
What?
People are listening to my podcast with Sean View yesterday.
No, I didn't catch it yet. Man, this week has been dumb. I overbooked.
I did a 40-minute show with Sean View on my channel. JD was supposed to be here, but he was sick, so me and Sean just did it. And I'm going live in a little bit later tonight with Sean again.
Awesome.
And So I'm just trying to do a little bit more stuff with more YouTubers, and he's so much better when you hear him like do a podcast, you'll be like, wow. Because when some people can't stand his 2-minute videos that he makes and stuff, but when he does the podcast, man, he goes right through all the wrestling knowledge, and it's much easier to listen to.
So he's focused.
Yeah, and it's not that bad, but I'll be doing more commentary for people. I've been lucky to be looked at by some companies and wrestling companies for commentary. So I'm going to continue to try to push that to get myself off YouTube, actually.
Yeah, I got you.
Get into a real gig somewhere. So that could happen, too. But, yeah, and that's it, just to keep growing. I want to really boost myself and get up to 100,000 subs and start getting maybe more people on my channel and more guests and stuff like that and interviews. And, yeah, man, all these people that are supporting are amazing. Even my new Twitter tonight, I'm already at 800 followers, so thank you to everybody that follows. Thank you to Bluprint Gaming and you guys for listening. And, thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. I got one more question, selfish question. For the young YouTubers trying to get their subscribers up, in 30 seconds, what do you suggest for everybody that's out there listening?
Consistency, and don't get ahead of yourself, and make sure you're consistent, really. If you just pick something that you want to talk about or you're good at, and just keep making videos on it. Don't stop making videos, and keep trying to test things and see what works while remaining consistent. The minute you start making different videos here or there, switching directions every week, people get lost and will never follow you.
There you go.
So if you're going to do top 10 videos, do a lot of top 10 videos. If you're going to do interviews, do all interviews and maybe some other things. But just remain consistent and make sure you title the video correctly, tag the video correctly, and write the right stuff in the description box. YouTube just changed their algorithm again, and it's bothering all of us.
Again.
It's made it really tough on YouTube. The window to get a video off to the races is much harder than it was even 6 months ago now. So
wow.
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking to someone who's been Joe Cronin Show for 4 years, and it's taken me 4 years to get to 42,000 subs. And my first 8 months, I didn't break 800. So don't get discouraged either.
Okay.
But try to move. And think about that old saying. If you know what I mean. I don't even remember what the old saying is. I'm like George Bush right now. But no, if you keep doing the same thing over again and it's not working, switch to something else. Do something else. If it's not working, try something different. Don't keep doing it if it's not working. My mistake was not switching it up quick enough and realizing what did work and going for that. So, there's my advice. And I'm going to be doing workshops for people soon on my website, joecroninshow.net and joecroninshow.com.
There you go.
To help people with YouTube. Because believe it or not, I never thought I would say this, but I actually know a lot about it.
Yeah.
But thank you.
All right. That was Joe Cronin. Go look him up on YouTube, Joe Cronin Show. He's going live tonight again on YouTube. Any other plugs you got for me, Joe?
No, just follow my new Twitter because my old Twitter is suspended right now. I don't know if I'm ever going to get it back. So follow me on Twitter normally at Joe Cronin Show, but my new Twitter is Joe Cronin JCS, which stands for Joe Cronin Show. So Joe Cronin JCS at Joe Cronin JCS, and my YouTube channel is of course youtube.com/Joe Cronin Show. Thanks, guys.
There you go, guys. Joe Cronin Show. Thank you for coming on the show, Joe. And guys, we'll see you next time. Have a Merry Christmas. Be safe. Drink responsibly. Have a good night.
I don't give a flying fuck what he thinks.
You want to see it?